everyone, it's Jeannie Peters, and I'm back here in my kitchen for the Real Foods Culinary Boot Camp, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about the power of soaking those grains. In an earlier edition, I had showed you what it means to soak. This is amaranth, these are some beans, and here's my oatmeal overnight. And by adding some kind of culture in here, we're helping to pre-digest those grains and those seeds to make them just even more powerful, get those proteins better digested so that we're actually able to get the value. I wanted to share a point that I didn't make clear enough last night, and that is that you want to make sure that when you are soaking something like these fava beans, that you put them in a jar that is actually enough for them to expand. Last night I had a pint jar and I put some water and whey in there, and they expanded within like an hour, so I had to go ahead and put them back into a quart jar just so that we had enough space for them to expand. And the same thing is true for your other grains. Right now I want to show you how to make a great hot cereal. So I've got my oatmeal, which I've have let that sit overnight, and it literally just looks a little creamy. And what we're going to do right now is just take this and put it into a strainer and strain it. And I actually like to strain it before I cook it because I find that the flavor's a lot better. When you're soaking it overnight, one of the things that happens is that you end up removing some of the starch. So I want to go ahead and just do that. And then we're going to add this to my pot. I've got some hot water going here, so let me go ahead and get that right here. And I've got what would amount to about a cup here, and I'm going to add the rest of this. And then it's always with grains, it's usually 2 parts water to 1 part grain. However, you've already soaked these grains, so you won't need to add as much water. You probably could get by with 1 part grain to about 1.5 cups of water. So let's go ahead and put this in. This is about 2 cups. And one of the things that I found works really nicely when I'm cooking grains like oatmeal is I make enough for several days. I was using the old-fashioned Scottish oats, so they're a little bit tougher, so they take a little bit of time to cook, but by soaking them overnight, you'll greatly decrease the cooking time. So let's go ahead and put that aside, and we're going to just add enough water just to cover it. So if I want you just to see, there really isn't that much liquid in here, maybe just a little bit more to cover, and that's plenty. Now, traditionally when you do Scottish oats, it takes a good 15 to 20 minutes, and you're going to be surprised by the fact that we had them soaking overnight. You're going to greatly decrease your cooking time, and really this just requires stirring for about 2 or 3 minutes. Let it sit then for a bit, and while it's sitting, we can think about a couple of the additions that will make this oatmeal even just better for you. So 2 things I like to do always with my hot cereals. I like to look at ways that I could add a little bit more protein and healthy fats. So today I'm going to put in some flax seeds. I've got some golden flax seeds. And we don't put these in while it's cooking. We rather wait until after it's cooked because these fats are very precious and they break down real quickly. So we're going to put them into my designated coffee grinder, now turned into flaxseed grinder. I'll put what would amount to about a tablespoon here. Just give that a good grind. And then these fantastic little gems add some omega-3 fats, they add some fiber, and they add a nice nutty taste. So we're going to add that in. In addition, for any of you that are trying to control your blood sugar and you want to make the oats as they break down, the carbohydrates as they break down, slowly move into your bloodstream, a great addition would be cinnamon. Cinnamon is just a natural, gives a great sweet flavor, so I've got some organic cinnamon we could put in a teaspoon, or add more if you want. Another thing I like to add sometimes is some poppy seeds. Poppy seeds are just notorious. They're great. They're a very calming type of seed, but also full of antioxidants. Some of you might want to just add a dash of sea salt, but that's really something that's a preference. And then finally, I always like to add a little bit of fat. And again, the fats really help to provide a little bit more nourishment and really help to sustain you for several hours after you've eaten it. So I'm going to put that in. I might add some fresh raspberries or some fresh blueberries right into my oatmeal after it's been prepared. So you can put even a little bit of, you can put some dates in here. I've got some dates which I chopped up and have been soaking. So I could put maybe a little bit of dates. It really depends. Maybe some fresh raisins would be good. But if any of you are trying to watch your blood sugars, you probably don't need to use a lot of fruit because you don't want to have your body's insulin overreacting. So my oatmeal is almost done. I'm going to add in my flaxseed meal into it. So I've got that great fiber. I'm going to put a couple of dashes of cinnamon. You know, another great addition for those of you that don't want to be using sugar would be to put some vanilla, fresh vanilla, into your oatmeal. And I'm going to put some poppy seeds in. Going to give us a little texture and then I'm going to put some fresh ghee. I've got just a little bit left here. I'll put in what would amount to about a half of a tablespoon of ghee. And put that in a bowl, and I've got a really nourishing breakfast. 3/4 of a cup, and you've got probably close to 100, maybe 120 calories, depending on what additions you have. And a great way to start the morning. So this is a really wonderful way of being able to add more value to your diet, soaking your oats before you eat them. So stay tuned. We'll share more in another edition.